I know everyone has an opinion on the best way to get flour and measure flour and blah, blah, blah. I don't care right now. I prepped my ingredients, so now it is time to mix everything together and make the buttermilk biscuit dough. I'm going to be doing all of this by hand. I'm going to be following along with Claire Saffitz's recipe from Bon Appetit magazine, but I don't have a food processor, and yeah. So I'm just going to be doing it by hand. I'm going to work kind of quickly to make sure that the butter doesn't melt too fast, and I'm able to make that really nice flaky dough. So here we go. 2.5 teaspoons baking powder. Gotcha. 2 teaspoons kosher salt. I have a lot of kosher salt. 2 teaspoons sugar. I don't know why I thought biscuits were so intimidating. I guess I've always been a little nervous around doughs that require chilled butter and working quickly, but it's not that bad. Let's see, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. Three and a half cups all-purpose flour. Excellent. I have a lot of flour. I know everyone has an opinion on the best way to get flour and measure flour and blah, blah, blah. I don't care right now. So in the original Bon Appetit recipe, it says at this point, once I have those dry ingredients together, I need to pulse everything together in a food processor to combine. I don't have a food processor, so I'm just going to be whisking it around in my bowl and hopefully evenly incorporating all the ingredients together. So the next step is to add the butter. This is the part where I need to work quickly. I think because I'll be doing it by hand, I'm actually going to cut up the pieces of butter into really small pieces instead of 1/2-inch size pieces so that they stay colder for longer as I'm moving it around with my fingers inside the bowl. Let's hope that works. So I need 2 sticks of butter. I've got my 2 sticks of butter, and I'm trying not to handle it too much, as much as possible. I was talking to my grandmother the other day, and it turns out she has an amazing rolling pin that has a hollow center where you could fill it with ice, just for being able to roll out pastry doughs and biscuit doughs and pretty much anything where you need to control the temperature. I'm sure a lot of people knew about those, but I didn't, so it was really cool. Yeah, so trying not to touch the butter as much as possible, just cut into small pieces to get a good start. I'm just dumping that into my bowl on the side. Okay, all of my butter is now transferred to my large bowl. In the instructions, it says pulse until the largest pieces of butter are the size of a pea. So I'm just going to go in, and thankfully I'm starting out with slightly smaller pieces to begin with. I'm just going to start making sure that my butter is fully coated in flour, or this flour mixture, and I'm just squeezing it into smaller sizes without spending too much time on the individual pieces. I don't even remember how big a pea is. Okay, this looks good. Now I'm going to pour in the buttermilk and knead it until I make a shaggy dough. So that's 1 cup of chilled buttermilk. The inspiration for doing this today, since I need to get rid of it. there's still more. Trying to figure out exactly what it means by knead. I'd really love to take more cooking classes, really learn what I'm supposed to be doing here. This is looking pretty good, so I'm now going to add a little flour, which I forgot to do, and pop this onto the table. Okay, so we've got the dough into a 1-inch thick square, pretty much a square. And then it says, using a bench scraper or knife, cut the dough into 4 pieces and stack them. So, do that. Sandwich any loose, dry bits between the layers. I can do that. Oh, it looks pretty good. And press down to flatten. This is fun. And then it says lift up and cover surface with some flour. And roll dough into a 1-inch thick rectangle. I can do that. Okay, this is about 1 inch thick. Trim border around sides of dough to create clean edges, and cut in a 4x3 grid to make 12 biscuits. Okay. In all honesty, I'm probably just going to bake these bits separately with like a little bit of cheese and scallion. Make little biscuit snacks. I know this is not even at all, and I don't even care. So I've frozen the biscuits for about 2 minutes. While that was happening, I popped some butter into my preheating oven, and that way by the time the biscuits were firmed up again, I would have a little bit of melted butter just to brush the top. Once the oven is preheated, the recipe suggests reducing the temperature back to 400 degrees, so that's what I did. For me, baking and cooking is all about multitasking. I feel like getting into cooking definitely taught me how to be a better multitasker, to have to think 5-10 steps ahead, coordinate multiple timings and temperatures, think on your feet if something doesn't work. So these are my pretty biscuits, but I do also have a bin of scraps. I'm going to give those like a little brush as well. So I'm just going to pop these in the oven for 20-25 minutes and see how they go. So here are the biscuits out of the oven. I'm quite happy with how they look. I'm happy to see layers of the dough pop up.
Thanks for watching.